Hey everyone, so I've been playing WoW now for 20 years and all that stuff. I'm a veteran player, play a lot of retail, I do high Mythic Plus and all that kind of stuff, but today I wanted to do a video for you on World of Warcraft Hardcore Classic, bear tanking specifically, though a lot of these techniques can also be used by any other tank, but I don't play those tanks, so, their toolkit and what else you might also be able to do. These are more principles that should be universal for, all tanks. But this is the way I like to play things, and I just want to talk about a couple techniques that I think are very valuable, and I don't really see too many other tanks doing this. I'm not saying it's the most optimal, and this is how everyone should be playing, but maybe this video might help you. You might take a few things and go, you know what, I like what he said there, I like that, I'm going to take that. Didn't like that so much, I'm going to throw that away. Perfectly happy with that. This is just something I wanted to do to give you guys some sort of tips and tricks on tanking. Things that I've found good, things that I have found useful. So generally with tanking, you struggle with aggro, right? You struggle with aggro, your DPS popping off, especially when you got a mage. Mobs start dropping aggro and you're struggling to pick them up and you're chasing after them and all that kind of stuff. So I actually want to use this clip to show you the techniques that you have, particularly as a bear, to, like, you're gonna lose aggro. It's gonna happen. You can't help it all the time. But there are techniques you can use when you do lose aggro. And this is what I'm going to talk about now. So, we're in a Zul'Farrak. We do quite a big pull. It's about, 5, 6 mobs, something like that. So, first of all, I regrowth. Pre-regrowth is going to give me a lot of healing aggro. And I pre-bark skin. So, there's good healing aggro there for me.
48 and a half,
bark skin.
It's not good enough.
Let's mute me.
49 and a half right now.
Let's mute me. So, I'm watching the aggro on everything here, trying to deal with some of these totems. And then you're going to see I'm going to shift my camera side on. And you're going to notice for the rest of this play here, I'm going to be side on. So if you think about it, my group's over here, the mobs are here, and I'm side on, and I'm always sort of on the edge closer to my team. So mobs have to run past me, and I can just pick them out as I want, and I can sort of move across. I'm not getting hit in the back, because I'm moving across. So as I move across, mobs are going to move with me and be in front of me. So I'm not getting dazed. Also, I can just have a really good clarity on the depth of which mob is closest to my team. Mainly the mage. The mage is going to be the one pulling aggro here. So I can see how close they are to getting my mage. And I can just see the depth of all the mobs. And it's really nice and handy. And it also allows me to do what I'm then going to go on to do now. So we're going to... So I'm going to see, as these mobs start to pull aggro, I'm going to charge one that's going to lock it in place for 3 seconds. I can then taunt another, and then I can bark skin, bash another. I didn't have that, so I war stomp instead. Now I've got a bash, now I've got a taunt. Now I'm going to start moving away from my mage, and then I can charge in, lock it in place. There was a Nova. I've got another taunt coming. I managed to grab aggro with a maul. I've got the taunt. Got the maul, and as I'm grabbing aggro on things, I'm pulling them in the opposite direction. So as they, even if I only snap aggro for a couple seconds, if I can pull the mob back over 5, 8 yards, that's another 5 and 8 yards that's got to go back through the blizzard. That will eventually come, and then it'll slow that mob. So let's just show that again. Now that I've sort of spoken through some things, we can see that again. So first of all, when you're setting up for a pull as bear, healing aggro is actually very strong in Classic WoW, so pre-hotting yourself is really good. Also, you can pre-bark skin. It means that you don't need a shield, maybe, because shield's going to reduce your rage gen. I think in theory, bark skin will probably do the same a little bit, but in these larger pulls, I don't mind, whilst I'm sort of waiting for everything to get stacked up. And I don't want my healer to have to risk healing aggro, so I actually like to pre-bark skin, because I can't normally use it during the pull. So pre-heal, pre-bark skin, I like to do that. Gonna have some good aggro, gonna pull these mobs in, good LOS. I mean, LOS in general, when you can learn some good LOS techniques, that's gonna be insane because it just groups everything up super nicely and means that you have fewer dangers, generally speaking. So, I'm just watching aggro and stuff, trying to maul quite a bit, trying to fairy fire and whatnot. Now I go side on, I get my angle, I get my plane where I'm horizontal with all the mobs, and I'm just gonna sort of move across, not get dazed. I'm gonna charge in. That one gets locked in place. Then I'm going to taunt one. Then I would normally bash this one. So already that's 3 mobs that are now locked in. They can't move. They're on me, or they can't move, or whatever. whilst they're bash, I can then generate some additional threat. This is when I can be either like mauling, swiping, fairy fire, whatever you got, whatever you want to use. And I'm pulling back away. I War Stomp because I don't have the bash. That's going to give me an extra few seconds for my taunt to come off cooldown. So I'm going to bash one, I'm going to taunt one, then I'm going to move back across and get ready for a charge. That's sort of all of the techniques here that we're using. Grabbing them, pulling them away. So these are little things that I like to do in dungeons. I think the most, like, the biggest takeaways from this clip is looking at your sort of positioning and your camera angles, and if you can act as this sort of, this like vertical plane and keep the mobs horizontal to your team, and you can be kind of playing goalie between your team and the mobs, then I think that's really, really good. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. Now I'll show you a high level example. This was in a BRD run that I did yesterday, actually. So I want to show you this BRD and show you a pull that went wrong and where I was able to recreate these techniques, but in a better way because, yeah, I have more aggro at a higher level because I'm just a bit more effective with a higher level toolkit. So I'll show you that now, but hopefully these tips are helpful so far. I'm going to show you guys a clip. I'm going to let it sort of play through, and then I'll talk about it afterwards. So this is where we then have our second sort of spooky moment, but look at the way that I'm tanking here. And look at the way that I'm using some of the techniques that I've just discussed in order to help shield my team.
It was a clean run, though.
I'm stunned. 3 seconds. I'm gonna stomp. Really good bomb there from Syrup, by the way.
Oh, yo, one running.
We got one running. Now I turn and I think, oh, can I just intercept it in time? But because I'm only level 55, these mobs are yellow to me, so unfortunately it pulls. Otherwise, I think that would have been really sick. Yeah, these slow me. Just heal me. Okay. We're gonna slow out. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No. Don't run. Okay. Just so turn my ass a little bit there, which isn't great. I'm stunned 4 seconds. Stunned again. Can you poly the frost one or an elite?
I got multiple mobs.
Yeah, okay. But do you notice here, so I just want to pause in this frame, do you notice here that if I had my camera turned where I was facing straight down the bridge, I wouldn't really be able to pick out where the aggro is and the distance sort of with the mobs. But here, because of how I'm sort of doing everything side on, and I'm on this different plane with my camera, it allows me to just very clearly, distinctly see, right, where have I got aggro, what's the distance from everything, and I think it just really breaks everything up very nicely. So you'll see me most of the time tanking in this sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but sort of this side-on tanking method. And it makes it very easy for me to pick out key targets and to jump on them. So I'll let this continue playing through. Yeah, okay.
I could fear on bridge, maybe.
So I'm actually letting these hit me in the ass, which isn't great. That would be an improvement I could make. I've innovate my healer there.
Dummy's good.
I gotta pop mana pots.
Yeah, and I grab this mob, and you see, just there. I'm gonna grab this mob, and I'm gonna pull them. Like as I grab, I'm gonna pull away from my mage at the same time. So you're not just grabbing aggro, you're grabbing and making distance so that if they snap aggro back right here, and I drag it across, so I'm pulling them away, so as you get aggro, try and make some distance, not just get aggro and sit there.
Yeah, just around the corner. I'm stunned 4. Judd, you got one mob on you, just one.
Okay.
This is where I'm jumping, turn, jump, turn.
Come back. We're fine.
Grab this, and then now the pull settled in. Now we're kind of good.
This is over with now. This is done.
So I just want to go back and I just want to rewatch some of this and talk about some of the methods in which, like I feel played this quite well. So I charged this mob. It was a risky play because this guy was 100% going to pull this pack. What I could have done is I could have gone, right, that's going to pull that. Let's just get the hell out of here. But I thought, you know what, if I can charge it in time, I realized a little bit too late that it was running. The call was made, which is a great call, but unfortunately the mob had already gone a decent distance. So it pulls these.
Yeah.
That's
don't run,
unfortunate.
Don't panic.
But actually, they pulled one less mob. We won't go back in the room, and there's one less mob in there, so that's pretty good. But yeah, so hold on, let me watch this play through. So I'm gonna charge, and then I jump, and I kind of do a bad jump. I tried to like jump back, but see how I'm sort of like jumping back, left, right, left, right. I'm sort of like always facing, but I'm getting some good distance. Because this is bear, you don't want to just backpedal.
No, don't run.
So I turn here a little bit, but I'm trying to pick up these mobs. Taunt in, pull in, charge in. So you can charge one, that stuns it for a few seconds, right? Keeps it locked in place. You can taunt one, you can bash one, right? So these are your different techniques of like, you can get aggro on 3 mobs very easily in bear. And then by the time any aggro might change hands, you've then got taunt back up, and then your charge isn't too far away. So these are the sort of the techniques: grab in, pull in, be in this side on. I'm always side on. You notice I'm never looking just straight down where the mobs are coming. Everything's side on, which I think is really good.
Judd, you got 1 mob on you, just 1.
Good communication here with the team, letting them know, look, okay, you don't need to panic. There is a mob on you, but you're fine. You're okay.
Come back.
Try and communicate to my mage, yo, don't run from the tank. Never run from the tank. It'd be pretty awkward at times doing that. But I just wanted to look at that play and just sort of talk about that.